This is Common Courtesy with Sean Nicholas.
She got that gushy,
and it's not the people's fault. The government, honestly, it's the whole entire fucking government doesn't really do anything when this stuff happens. But I am so happy. Nikki Peru.
You sound like you're at least in your 20s. So my advice would be like, go get an apartment and maybe test out some dating sites. Because
Courtney Harbaugh.
Okay, well, first of all, was it a suspect or was it his significant other? That's an honest question.
Angelique Young.
Run the risk of getting a fine, and you run the risk of potentially going to jail for coming here. It doesn't mean you can't stay home and do it. How many people?
No, that's wrong.
And Stephen Gilbreth.
Do you like Capricorn?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was bad. Anyway. So,
I agree, you're out.
Yeah.
I'm so glad the whole team is here. Yay!
Hey. Sit back and let's start the conversation. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Common Courtesy. I'm your host and moderator, Sean Nicholas, and this is my lovely co-host, Nikki Prue. Hey, how you doing, babe?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. You know what? I love that single by Rico Davis. He was on our show. He's a friend of the show. He was on our show a couple of months ago. You remember?
I do. I can't wait to have him back on.
I know. I don't want to give it away, but I can't wait for him to see him again, But anyways, I just love that song because it just really gets me,
It's so catchy. It's just I know. It's like I should start my day with it. I'd probably have more energetic mornings.
I agree with you. So we have a couple of things to be talking about today. We have a lot to talk about. We have Wendy Williams. Once again, she starts stirring the pot with her mouth on a podcast with DJ Sus1 again. And then we have an interview with Anjani. Anjani Pandey, the director of the film Koko, a film that we reviewed last weekend. And we're gonna have some questions for him. And also as well, we're going to be talking about GameStop and with the whole debacle with is RobinHood versus these Wall Street bet traders on Reddit. So I can't wait to get into that because I'm thinking I should have gotten to stocks. So anyway, Nikki, all right. So let's get into this Wendy Williams thing. Because once again, like I said, she stirs the pot with her mouth. She goes on to this podcast with her DJ Sus1. He's a DJ on her show. And she's, sharing, she's basically promoting her biopic because it was coming out this weekend, right? And also her documentary. So she's promoting that. She's talking about it and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, she just spills the tea on how she had a one-night stand with Method Man, out of nowhere. But, I don't want to explain it. I just want to let her tell it.
The only thing I did, I smoked a blunt with with Method Man. While I gave him a bath, and it was a one-night stand. And
what?
And he'll deny it, maybe not.
That wasn't in the movie.
I said to him, I guess I batted my eyes and rocked my shoulders. You know how you do.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you want to come over? And he said, yeah, I'll follow you.
I don't know if I'm asking too much, but did you guys go all the way?
Yes.
Wow.
What are you, stupid?
What?
Are you out of your mind?
Bitch, I'm sorry, Wendy, but honestly, I can't really get over that. That was my husband she was talking about. But this weekend, what happened was Tamika Smith, the wife of Method Man, goes on Instagram and she claps back like I have never seen. She reads Wendy Williams. She drags her through the dirt with this statement here. She says, in an obvious attempt to increase ratings for her sad biopic, her struggling TV show, and her burnt out career, Wendy has once again targeted my husband. And it's a pattern she's repeated for years. When I was diagnosed with cancer years ago, Wendy shared my personal medical information with her listeners live on the air during her radio broadcast. She didn't care that she was violating my right to privacy. She has never apologized as well as well. And then she goes on to say, despite my anger, I chose not to respond publicly to her unhealthy fixation with my husband or our marriage. It was clear that she was sick and that she was struggling with a lot of issues, including self-hate and low self-esteem. Over the years, those issues have made her increasingly ugly, both inside and out. And no amount of plastic surgery can fix the ugliness inside of her. So after that, after the whole thing, she also said, her marriage fell apart and mine is still intact. So, Nikki, I just want to ask you, how did you react to all of this?
As Method Man's wife, I would be equally angry, like beyond angry at this point, because I mean, it's bad enough. Excuse me. It's bad enough that she's going on and on and on about this. I mean, I don't even want to call it affair, but this encounter that we are all unsure of how long ago it happened. But added to that, like the real icing on the cake was her disclosing the cancer diagnosis on the radio when her friends and family weren't even aware yet. I mean, I feel like she's crossed some serious lines. And, good for Tamika, right? Am I saying that? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Good for her for clapping back, because she probably should have done it years ago, but she probably was just trying to take the high road because, I mean, no harm, no foul, except that it's just really irritating, but good for her. She had every right to say something and a lot more than that. I mean, and it was well written. It was savage, but well deserved in my opinion at this point. Sorry, Wendy.
Yeah, because she did say that in the beginning. I didn't read it. Sorry, not to mislead, but I didn't read the whole, Instagram post because it's a lot. But she did say that, for years, I haven't said anything. And, I think that it takes a lot of class. But one thing, I don't think Wendy should have said anything about that. You know what I mean? It was kind of wrong because and then she goes, I don't know if you remember, I saw the whole interview. She said, she was like, well, Method Man's kind of mad at me for some reason. I'm like, what do you mean? Why do you think he's mad at you? You told people about, her cancer diagnosis years ago, and before anyone else in her family knew about it, maybe even him. But I'm like, how? I think, what? Here's my question I want to ask, because I was pissed, because literally she handled that better than I would. Because, I'd be like, hold on. She's talking about my man. I got to hold my shit. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
The rage. Yeah, it would have been pretty.
But anyways, no, here's my question. Since her movie was just coming out this weekend, do you think this was just like a publicity stunt?
It very well could have been. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to me. People have done far crazier things for publicity. I mean, if it were me, she's already got, she's got, like I said earlier, she's got a large and specific following, people who are going to support her no matter what. So if it were me, I would want to go about it, any publicity, especially when I'm already established and can, if you want, you can only go up, I would want to just keep it classy and be known as somebody who doesn't shout out secrets when they're not supposed to. So I'm like, but unfortunately, these kinds of publicity stunts often have the desired effect. At the very least, people will be talking about her a lot more than maybe they would have, and their attention is more focused. So,
yeah, I agree.
All press is good press, I guess.
Yeah, because honestly, I agree with that. But at the same time, I think that Wendy Williams is at she should be at a point in her career that she shouldn't have to do things like this. She should be like,
yes.
Yeah, but why not? She could have did one of those things where she was she posed on a magazine nude, Caitlyn Jenner, because she just turned over 50. That's beautiful. That's bold.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
would
better
be really supportive of that. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's a more positive way to promote the movie, not this, because who if it's real or not, who cares? But I think it was just it was bullshit, and she's like, I don't know why he doesn't like me. Well, don't you think this statement you're making right now is why he doesn't like you, and maybe his wife doesn't like you? Let's not do it, Wendy.
It just
Let's
seems a
keep
little
it
like
real.
almost Fatal Attraction-y to me.
What? Well, okay, you said earlier, just really fast before we get our guest on. You said you think it's like, oh, we have some comments. We're gonna get to that real fast. Oh, before I ask you this question, Mason, I love Mason. Hey, Mason. Mason, Wendy doesn't care about bad press. Of course not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good press, every bad press is good press. And he also says, once a shock jockey, always a shock jockey. Exactly. That's my thing. I really feel like she just came out with this just to start bullshit. But I was going to ask you, and I forgot the question. I forgot what the
I think
question.
she has an obsession.
Yeah. Why do you think that she has an
I mean, I
obsession?
don't really. It just seems weird, this going back, this speaking about this encounter that they had, which did she say she was giving him a bath?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I mean, I would probably phrase it taking a bath, but anyway, it's here nor there. But just bringing that up, being really kind of secretive about when it happened, and then putting his wife on blast on like throwing all her personal business out there. To me, that speaks like obsession, kind of. You know what I mean? Like that's what people do when they have a thing for somebody who isn't interested or maybe unattainable. But that's just my uneducated guess. I don't know.
No, but anyway, but I just honestly I think it was like kind of in poor form. Like, come on, Wendy, that shit was wrong. Like, I don't care if it was real or not. And obviously for me, I think it was just a publicity stunt just to like get people talking about her movie. And you're right that all press is good press, but it's kind of like she crossed the line. There's a certain line that I wouldn't cross on this show.
Exactly.
I try to be very PC. I don't know if everyone noticed that, but I'm very PC. I respect everyone. I don't want to offend anyone. That's not the point. But anyways,
we hear about ethics where some people just don't.
Right. So anyway, speaking of that, our guest, Anjani Pandey, he was the director of the movie that we talked about last week, Koko, the story that redefined marriage. For those of you guys that don't remember the movie, I'm going to play a little bit of a clip here of our trailer, and then we'll grab our guests.
Don't I have a right to marry who I want?
It's kind of been a debate about who you can marry. But a dog?
I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love.
Are you two doing anything?
You're sick.
I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love.
All right, so that was just a little trailer of Koko. This is joining us right now is the film director himself, and also the screen writer, I believe, as well. Anjani Pandey, thank you for joining us tonight, sir.
Thank you for having me here. It was an honor to be in this show.
Thank you.
And I really enjoyed your last time. You're talking, and I got idea like it's really funny because it made a few moments to laugh, you guys, and that's what a filmmaker needs. People should laugh. People should have fun. So that's the whole the filmmaker's reward, like make you smile the audience.
I got really wrapped up in his story. Like I was telling Sean, I'm like, I put it on and I was doing something at my desk, and before long I was just like sitting on my bed watching the movie. I got really wrapped up into it. It took you in.
No, you're right. And I think I sent a personal message to Sean. You brought very good 2-3 points while the last time show. And let me start talking.
Before we get into that, I just wanted to ask, we're going to get into that. But answer me this. So like the one thing I wanted to ask, like you were saying, what was the driving force behind this film? Just to get everyone go in the same direction, because if you didn't see the last episode, you may be lost. So what drove you to write and create this movie? Because you say it's a satire.
Yes. That's the whole point, and that's the people before, and that's the why so many film festivals got the point. What I really want to achieve with this film. And that's why, as of now, the film has been selected in 7 festivals all over the world. 3 festivals. It got nomination for 3 different categories. We got 3 awards. So definitely those who are watching this, they are getting what we mean. So let's to answer your question. And you know what? I just did one. I wrote one. Did I can share this screen? If you can share, I don't know how I can share, but that's fine.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I can share. But if you send it to me, I can share what you're trying to send.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to say, like, I'm writing like a 2-page note. I wrote facts behind Koko, and it's only 2 minutes, and that's I'm concluding what's all happening and where the people are missing. So as you can see in the trailer, also, I'm not throwing all what happened, the backstory and all these things. Come to the point. It's all about the same-sex marriage law. So
yeah, getting to that, because like the real reason why we're here is that, you know, some people saw this movie and they thought, well, I've watched it and they thought they had a lot of anti LGBT well, actually anti marriage equality scenes in the film. So and also as well, there's some things that were found on Kickstarter. Like, how do you answer those how do you answer those people's feelings?
Yeah. So basically, people are missing the one thing is I want to address the law, the same-sex marriage equality law, the new law, new marriage law, whatever you call it, the new marriage law, because there is confusion. Some people misunderstand. There is not much aware about the real what is new law, and that's how the confusion is. Some people is asking what next, and last time that was a quote from Nikki also, and some people just assume, some people don't care, but yeah, we need to aware the people what the new law, and that's the whole point is people are missing. I have nothing to do, not for or against or anything. It's just like another film. It has so many interpretation. Some people may interpret. I can understand from where they are coming. If you go too far, trying to do 2 and 2 together and trying to do your imagination, what would be my intention based on my belief? No, it's just your interpretation. Mine is just to Koko is thought-provoking. Just simply, if I had to summarize in one line, it's thought-provoking the people to know more about what exactly same-sex marriage law. And here I will say 2 points. If there is confusion, and if there is not people aware, or if there is a problem in the law, let's fix it. Let's accept it, because every law can't be perfect. We have seen in the history, law has been made, and after that, there has been amendment came. So if there is a problem in the law, let's fix it. Or if there is a not problem in the law, people are confused, let's make them aware. For example, in this, every film is alternate reality. So in this Koko environment, it's alternate reality. The new marriage law is all about any 2 adults, consenting adult can get marriage license. That's the law in the alternate reality in the premises of Koko.
Right.
But that could not be the all. There are more, people should know. But those who are not like a general people talking or something loose talk, they will say, oh, same-sex marriage, anybody can marry. No, there are more than that. You should get aware. And that's what this is to them, like, hey, if this is the law, any 2 consenting adult can marry, then I'm afraid. And that's what I want to show tomorrow. Any Randy, as per the Koko plot, any Randy can come up with the Koko and say, like, hey, make it legal, because we are adult and we are we two can consent.
So my only thing with that, is like, where did the dog come in? You know what I mean? Like, because if you want to tell a story about understanding, marriage equality, this is jump in. This is my opinion. If you want to know a story about that, like, why tell it with the dog? Why not tell it with, because you mentioned, a lot of people who identify as, like genders. We're learning gender language, like non-binary. Why not tell a story that way rather than risking, people being offended? Because, because to me, what I saw was like, there's a lot of like, like I said last episode, there's a lot of comparisons between, the Marriage Equality Act, when they had not the riots, excuse me, people protesting outside the courthouse. And also as well, there is a scene with, I don't want to give the story away, but there is a scene with Obama making that speech after marriage equality was passed. So it was kind of like, so is it like, who's this warning for and who's confused about, marriage equality? Because that's my question, because just from my perspective, people who are thinking that and saying that are people who are just against it just by hate. Or are you saying it's under a misunderstanding because people don't understand the law? I'm just confused where they don't understand it. If you can clarify where, just a little bit about that, and then we can move on.
Yeah, it's not misunderstanding, it's like awareness. People are not fully aware. For example, in this Koko story, in that alternate reality, all the people think, according to the writer, is it's all about two consenting adults. Looks like a law is not very clear and not is clearly defined. Who are those two adults?
So are you saying like one of those adults could be a dog?
Yeah, dog. It could be.
But
no, come on. So that,
no. I gotta just.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It should be, let the people more aware. Let's open to discussion and let the aware. No, two adult means this law is only for human.
Yeah,
not
but I mean,
for animal.
There's a lot of laws, and I'll agree with you that some of the laws are crazy and some of them are outdated. But like, I don't think that anyone confuses between you can now marry a horse. And like I said, that's what people were saying in those circles that were anti-marriage equality. And like, I just, two adults mean two adult human beings. Because if you think about it, how old is Koko? She's, if you really want to go there, but it's just
I think they did her age and said that technically in human years, she would be an adult.
Yeah. And like Nikki told a very good point. Like it doesn't take a scientist or philosophy or it's like what's called to understand marriage is not for the animal. Yeah, you're right. It's not a big deal. That's why in the Koko, if you understand the whole thing, the dog is metaphor. And you're right, Sean. Dog is a metaphor. It could be tree, mountain, dolphin, horse, anything. I picked the dog just for story purpose. It's not really, dog, D-O-G, dog, and that one. It could be anything. So that is it's a metaphor. And my whole idea is the marriage law should be clearly, loud and clearly defined.
But I think
so that tomorrow it should not be there, should not be any confusion.
I'm gonna read the thing that you're gonna put out. I think you're saying you're gonna write an essay. I'll read that tomorrow. But I just can't. I'm sorry. Like, there is no confusion with that because two adults, because what defines a dog being an adult? Because it can have children. By our standards, we can't say, because I have a 10-year-old pug nose, and I swear he is just this. He's not smart, and he's a dog, and he's been living on this earth for 10 years. And I would think Bentley would know not to run out in the road. So I couldn't ever think of marrying him in that way, even though I love him. And I do agree, marriage is, because you said the same thing, it's between two souls. But the one thing, the catch with that is, it's this consent part, this is a fake thing. This is a fake satirical thing if you think about it. But there's this whole consent thing, the marriage law is defined clearly as two consenting adults, meaning two people can both speak. They're not drunk. They're not, no one's unconscious. They are saying for themselves, so it's very clear. I'm just, wondering for who are those people. But you know what?
Oh no.
I think we lost him. But anyway, I think we lost him. But I was just saying, if he comes back, I was just saying that I think it's very clear, in that law. I'm just wondering who those people he's making that movie for, It's just, but I can get what you're saying. It's satirical, but for me, I just saw, what I
think
saw.
the real danger that worried me, that we spoke about last time, was just I didn't like the possible. Oh, coming back.
Yeah.
There he is.
Somehow it happened.
It happens to us all the time, usually once a week with one of us. So
yeah, like sometimes the power goes out.
Yeah,
no, I was just saying is, it was just clearly defined. I'm just like, I understand where you're being satirical. But anyways, let's move on. Nikki, do you have any other do you have any questions that I'm gonna ask him what's going on with the movie since it's been banned?
No, actually that was one of the things I wanted to touch on, and you both have pretty much. Sean, you stole my questions again, but it's okay because they got answered. But no, that pretty much covered it.
Okay, cool. So we kind of got. I kind of got a little bit of understanding. We got to move on pretty soon, Anjani. But I have a question. So after the controversy came out, your movie was banned from a couple of different film festivals. Where's Koko moving to now? And is it shut down, or is it canceled, or what's going on?
No. As I told you, this is going to all the festivals because if you see, and there is no problem before. Even take example of Senflow. They have seen the film. Their 3 judges watched the film. They didn't find any problem. They accepted. It's all about one perception. No matter what, any reason for their sponsor or something, and they don't want to handle this kind of situation. So that's why they don't want to screen. So it's just happened there, and it happened after all these things. So this is effect of this temporarily or misunderstanding, and they don't want to lose the sponsors or something. So they canceled this one. Their screening for whatever reason, and as a filmmaker, I should respect film festivals' board of director decision. But think about so many festivals. They have no something anything programmed their mind. They saw the film as art, as things, and they understand what this means and where I'm going, and or maybe they are getting me exactly what I mean, not to find out my interviews and what my this, and they are trying to get my belief and my intention and all these things, and just program the people feed. Think about the guy who is doing sound. He also has commented somewhere. He has done the film all the time for last 1 year process, didn't find any problem. And one day somebody told hey, think this way. This is the interpretation. And he jumped on, find out oh yeah, you're right. And I will go with you. So definitely just like any other film, this film also has so many interpretation. It's open to discussion. But yeah, believe me, as a person, as a film, we have no intention to hurt or diminish or defame anybody. It's just we created one alternate reality where this is going to happen, and it started with all confusion of people has not clear about what the same-sex marriage law is. They think it can go beyond the human. So what happened? That's the imagination. It's a writer's imagination. Okay, what if this goes to beyond? Because we have seen dog and the human marriage, civil marriages. We got all the kind of news. One girl, one model in the UK got married the dog. One guy got married there. So they are in the human, in the social marriages. Tomorrow they can claim for legal marriage also. So, but we should stop that. Those things should not really happen. I'm really will be surprised, and
Would
I
you
don't know.
actually do you actually think those things will happen if we don't clearly define this law? Or
Yeah, means if there is confusion, or if the law says only two adults, if it's not clearly defined, it's for the human.
well, I mean, I think it's very clear. Well, and just in that respect, I think that part's very, very clear to everybody because because one thing about marriages that you have to do is like consummate them to like make them actually real in U.S. law. Like if you want to like say you're married to someone, one of the things that makes it actually real is that you consummated it. And one thing you said in your film that the dog and him haven't really consummated.
Yeah, that's the writer's imagination. Like
so,
I
mean,
and that's why the film called alternate reality.
Well, that's where the logic comes in. Like you can't consummate, with something. People, let's be honest.
I'm like,
there's some. Let's be honest.
Not ever. I'm sure there's people out there.
Yeah, there are people out there who have.
And and clearly, if you see the film,
but we also live in 2021. And I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff, but I don't really honestly think that our world's going to, adopt that. I think it's more going to honestly going into, I honestly think, really. I think honestly the world's going into
hope not. This Koko should be true in future. I never wished Koko should be true in the future.
Right. No.
Let people just have fun, enjoy.
So, I have a question, just my last one before we let you go. Yeah. So after hearing the feedback and the backlash that you received, is there anything that you would do to make this? Was there anything you would do differently?
No, means I'm not wrong. It's a confusion, something. And if I talk to the people, I will go for more awareness. I will write more article, let the people aware about it. And hey, I was just going through. I will put one example. Statue of Adonis. Everybody knows the Greek god.
Which one?
From the
Adonis.
Oh,
yeah. From the very beginning, it's just art. If somebody is saying it's a nudity, no, accept it as art. So same way, it's a kind of like how you are accepting. Koko is thought-provoking, virtual reality, one imaginary. Every imaginary thing goes from one like a 2% reality, and you drag into all the imaginary alternate world and create your own story. And that's the how. Yeah, of course, dog. Nobody can even think of marrying the dog or a consenting part. But in the Koko, you see, dog came in the court marriage, and he's saying like, yeah, yes, no, that's not possible. It's all reality. It's all fun. Have fun.
I'm glad you came to the show to really kind of clear that up a little bit for us. I don't know you, but I don't really feel that. I don't feel like you have any, you were trying to offend anyone, but you did, but I think in this thing, because when we go into the public realm, we gotta make sure, because I think I understand you want your film to be very thought-provoking, whatnot. But would you ever offer an apology to the people that you unintentionally, offended? Would you apologize to them? Because now that you talk to me and I really listen to you.
Yes, it's not apologize. Definitely, that's not the right word. But I would like to say hey, here is let's open to discussion. This is the fact. You have misunderstood. For their misunderstanding, why should I apologize? It's a misunderstanding. It's not like I did any mistake. It's intentionally something I did and something. But let me tell you, as my last note, and all about, since they are so many people got hurt. Really, I'm sorry for that. But if somebody knows me as Anjani Pandey from last 10 years, I made like a 35 short films. This is my first feature-length film. All the time, go and ask, see my actions. Don't go with my words. I know like hundreds of people. I know like 25, 50, even I don't know how many, because it's so many people are not open who are which LGBT or not or something. So, and we don't talk, but I know some people like there are belongs to LGBT community. They are so nice people. We are so good friend with them. Starting from my IMC in 2012, it's a transgender film. It got a World Humanitarian Award in 2015. I made so many short films. If you are aware, I did 3 years continue monthly short film festivals. I showed in my festival, I showed so many LGBT films without any discrimination. I did so many actors, even I don't know. Even talking to the community and LGBT people, even after the Koko, if that was my intention to hurt anybody, even after the Koko, I did a web series called Over the Moon. It's an 11 episode YouTube web series. Later on, we cut it into short films. Over the Moon. Their lead actor and lead actress, supporting lead actress, they are LGBT. I have no intention, nothing bad. They're all my good friends. So no, nothing. Even Koko doesn't talk anywhere about that word. It's all about the law. It's all about the law. And some people's confusion uses for the threading the story. And it's a funny story. Go and enjoy.
So I'm glad you came in to talk about it, because like I said, this show is just a lot about, not being able to have the floor, and explain their reasons, and I can see where you're coming from. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And
thank you for having
me.
Yeah.
Like I said, Nikki said, I got sucked into the film too. I was worrying about, how Randy is gonna,
yeah,
make out with me. So.
Watch again.
Yeah.
Go and watch again. Now you go and watch again. You will love it.
It was a really well done movie. So you should be very proud.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's a SAG-AFTRA. Well done and good. We spend little bit money, not cheap something, and all like a paid actor, everything set up, a location. Every cast and crew are very happy during the production. Thanks to my cast and crew who helped me a lot, and we have gone through from the first film. You can't expect this kind of quality, this kind of production value. It's just because I have that kind of people supporting me. I love my team. I love my group. Go and watch this film again.
I probably will.
All right. So you're going to be at some festivals. We'll find you on Facebook, correct? Because I know you have a Facebook page. If you guys want to see this film, it's Koko the Movie, correct?
KokoTheMovie.com.
All right. Anjani, have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here. You guys are awesome. Nice. Thank you. Pleasure talking to you.
All right, Nikki. Honestly, maybe I learned something there. How about you? Are you still there? Uh-oh. My Nikki's frozen. Okay. So I think Nikki's frozen a little bit. So I'm going to continue the show before she comes back. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was this whole thing happening with This whole thing happened with GameStop. GameStop's going on. There's this whole thing with what is it going on? What happened was that Reddit happened. So there's a page called on subreddit called Wall Street Bets, and they figured out that all these hedge funds were betting against the GameStop app, correct? Right. Actually, you know what? I could explain this, but I have Jordan Belfort to explain it to what actually happened with RobinHood and GameStop.
Well, and believe it or not, my firm was actually like Reddit. It's just that it's very similar. What happened here is you have lots of people gathering up and buying one stock where there's a very heavy, what's called a short interest, meaning that there was these big hedge funds betting that the stock was going to go down and hopefully even go bankrupt. Now, shorting is a normal, healthy part of the stock market, and it's important. But there are certain types of short sells that go over the line, and they overshort. They massively short. They will start trying to create investigations for companies, create bad press, hoping to drive down the price of the stock. That is what happened here. So these shorts ganged up on this company, and then the little guy, I can't believe that it actually worked. They were able to muster enough collective buying power to create what's called a short squeeze. Because remember, when you sell something without owning it, which is what shorting is, you got to buy it back. So if you can get enough people to get the stock going up, they have no choice but to buy it back because they start to lose so much money, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because when they start to buy it back, it goes even higher and higher. That's what you're seeing happening right now.
Hey, Nikki.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I was, I got a little, flustered. I'm like, where's Nikki?
No, the craziest thing is I have a full battery, and I thought I'd plugged it in anyway, but I didn't. But it just shut off and restarted, and I still have a full battery, so it's plugged in now. We should be fine.
I literally, I was looking at you, and I was like, Nikki. So anyway, that was Jordan Belfort, the original Wolf of Wall Street, explaining what happened between this bidding war with Wall Street Bets and the hedge fund and RobinHood app. And this is actually still going on. I was just on their page. I went to Reddit, to the Wall Street Bets app, and they're still, holding out, because the whole thing with stocks is, Warren Buffett said you should buy when people are selling and then sell when people are buying. And that's what was kind of going on. I read a story, this kid, he had 10 shares and he got $1,300. I want that money. Like, it was crazy. So what also happened is last Thursday, I believe, RobinHood suspended buying on apps like I think it was AMC and GameStop. So they were not allowed to buy and make money on it. So there's a question of like market manipulation. There's lawsuits going on, bitches losing money everywhere. But I honestly wish I bought some Mason's right, stonks, right? I honestly wish I bought some stocks, and I was reading this Reddit, Wall Street Bets. Yes, they're holding the line. That's what they're saying. They're holding the line. They're not going to sell their stocks because, like Jordan said, once you sell the stock, you got to it's actually, once you sell it after shorting it, you have to buy it back. Anyway, so the fact that these people kind of got together on social media, my question is this to you, Nikki. Should we as millennials, should we be getting on Instagram? Should we be getting out there trying to understand stock markets? Should we be getting in the game?
I think it is important to know how it all works. I'll be very honest.
Oh, and how do you feel about this whole crazy thing? And then I'm sorry.
I think I don't mean funny, haha, except in a little bit. But all these crazy billionaires are so mad because for once, they're usually the ones doing all of this, and it's getting the better of some of them. So the fact that the RobinHood app got shut down, I think is bullshit because it's just such a game. I think
it didn't get shut down. They
got halted. I'm sorry,
down.
I'm sorry that they shut down trading. Apologies.
Right.
I just think it's just very indicative that the bones of this country is, and the money in this country, all of it at the core is handled by just crooks and shysters and people trying to get the better of people. So, I feel like something like this was bound to happen. I will say, finish my earlier thought. I don't know anything at all about the inner workings of stocks. I know the gist of things, and I've learned a lot since this has all happened on some of the more specific terminology and some of the craziness that can happen. But I myself wish I had a better knowledge of it, because I think even if you're not going to crazy invest and it's not going to become something that you do all the time, it is important to know how it all works because of things like this, and to know that, when it is profitable to invest in something solid that's going to, maybe I would go for something solid that is going to kind of grow over time, or something that's always been, somebody's always going to need, people are always going to be interested in. But that's here nor there. I think if you're going to invest at all, you should definitely, get as much information as you can, because a lot of people are cashing in on this, and a lot of people are getting completely screwed on this. So I just think it's an interesting development. And it really makes me think, I wish I knew a lot more about it. I wish I had learned more about it before all of this, because I think I'd have a better understanding of it.
Same here, because like honestly, I missed out because I used to go to GameStop all the time. And honestly, I thought the same thing. Like people were thinking that this company was going to close, and there's some good press that came out. There's just this one dude on the Reddit app. He was saying that the fact that they shorted this stock like over 140%, I believe. Like saying like, let's say it costs $10, they're gonna sell it hoping it would drop to $5, so you can just buy it back and keep the and then sell it back to GameStop. But I honestly wish I'm the same way. Here's how I feel about this. I feel exactly the same way you do, because the fact that RobinHood stopped people from buying it and from people making money is clearly showing they have a self-interest and an interest in someone else, a larger interest. Like I heard that Melvin Capital is one of their investors, and they were one of the people that lost a hell of a lot of fucking money during this whole thing. So I feel like, they stopped it because they didn't want to be liable for, everyone's
losing more money. Yeah, they don't want to keep losing money. That's why it's gross that they were even able to do that. Because if it was the other way around, they'd be losing their minds if they were stopped from doing that.
Exactly. I saw him on. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. I saw him on television the other day with Chris Cuomo trying to explain it, and it was kind of bullshit. I was like, "Yo, you can't." He's like, "Oh, the reason why we're trying to do it is we're trying to protect people from themselves." But I'm like, "But they're making money right now. I don't think they want to be protected." But honestly, this taught me to get into stocks and to understand it a little bit more, because the one thing that in that interview that Jordan Belfort said was, you got to kind of get in at the beginning. At the end of the beginning, when the stock started to like rise, and then get out at the beginning of the end. I listened to him and I'm like, you know what? I might try to like put some money in this bitch. Because what also went with it is just there was this science that there's like a couple of bits of news that came out about GameStop last year, because the fact that the new gaming consoles like PlayStation 5 and whatnot, Xbox, I don't think PlayStation 5 is another one, but they're still using this. So GameStop is still going to be out there. So, and then they also had a contract with Microsoft. So this shit came out. I don't know, girl. Like it was all this stuff that added up that you had to kind of watch everything, because what he said was, people buy stocks or sell stocks based on fear or what other people think about this company and what they're worth. Like I bet when McDonald's fired that girl after that dude was fighting her over the straw, some of the stocks went up and down. It was like blah, blah, blah.
That's a way of controlling it. If you get enough people with enough money, or a large enough group of people just betting in a certain direction, that's why the whole thing is it's such a crazy system to me, because like anything else, it's based on the what ifs and the when ifs. There's just so much room for error there that if you invest a ton and you get lucky for a while, that's great, but it's going to hit way harder if something goes awry.
Wrong, right? And you know what? Honestly, he also said that a lot of people are going to pay for this, and maybe even some of these retail investors, like maybe they hold the line too long, because if some people, I would start selling, because like, girl, if I had like $3,200, I'd have been like straight, like I'm out. Thank you for this money, sir. Bye. I'm good. Bye. But honestly, I see why they're holding out. I wish my brother was trying to get me to understand stocks years ago. When we were first filming here at my house, at the studio.
Yep. And you're back now and you're like, all right, Chris, I'm ready now. Tell me everything.
Right. Yeah, I asked him about it, but he's not in it. But like, honestly, I think they were just saying that, social media is going to be impacting stocks now. They're going to be paying a lot more attention, because they're never going to get away with this shit again. But I'm going to pay a lot more attention to this as well, because I want to be rich. I need the money. Before we go, I want to let you know I'm watching Little Women Atlanta on Lifetime.
All right.
Because TMZ, they released an exclusive from their new episode that came out last week. So season 6 just started last week. I'm in it. I'm catching up because I'm 6 seasons behind. I'm catching up on Lifetime. I just love the drama. Like, I'm not like Wendy Williams, but I love reality TV show drama. I miss Real World and Road Rules Challenge. That dude CT, he was fucking psycho. He was always knocking a nigga out. Like,
I miss those shows sometimes. I didn't watch them a lot, but it is like great if you just want to zone out and often feel better about your own life. You just watch some crazy people on TV and you're like, oh, I'm fine.
After that epic clapback, I think a lot of people gonna look at Wendy Williams like that because she wasn't on. I forgot to say that earlier. She hasn't been on Monday or Tuesday. So I think, she may be like taking a seat back after that because that clapback came out this weekend.
It
She
would
was
be
like, oh,
wise.
hell no. Yeah, I would not want to be starting shit again. Like, let the movie come out, letting people watch it. Let people watch the documentary. If they cry, they cry. Let them do it. But come on, Wendy, she better than that. So everybody, that's the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to our guest, Anjani. I hope I said that right, Pandey. I love the conversation. I learned a lot. Like I said, maybe people shouldn't judge, books by their cover, or perhaps, everyone has different perceptions as well. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next week at 9:00 with some more hot topics. Look out for us on Apple Podcasts. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.